Greetings, slaves. How are you doing? Pretty good. You know what this guy just told me on Quora? He said, this guy, referring to me in the third person, is a total unhinged lunatic. And he spells lunatic L-U-N-I-T-I-C. And he says, this guy needs to be watched. And I thought, way to say you're a gang stalker without saying it. Watched how? Is that a real thing? Can you put someone on a watch list? Well, maybe if you have a criminal record, you know, there's, you go around the neighborhood and you say, hey, I'm on some kind of list. But what about someone without a criminal record? Can they be put on a watch list? And why would you call it a watch list? Isn't it a terrorism list? Not a list of terrorists, but a list of people who you do terrorism to? Why call it a watch list? Why call it domestic surveillance? Why don't you say the whole story? Why don't you say this guy needs to have people break in his house and rip holes in his clothes? Why don't you say this guy needs to have someone try to kill him in a car accident? Well, his grandma's in the car, so he has to slam on the brakes and the dog goes flying into the front of the car. Why don't you say all that? Well, I think if they said all that, they'd be in trouble. So anyways, today I am focusing on meditation and I'm going to the Asian store. This is a good day. You know, I'm not exactly feeling like anything. Everything I eat is just the same old. Not very happy with it. And nothing was really doing it for me. And then I thought, oh my God, you know what I haven't had in a long time? And you know what's cheap? And you know what's delicious? Sushi. I make some pretty good sushi. And I put in sweet potatoes. I could go to 2 grocery stores. I could go to Walmart and get some seaweed salad, which goes in the sushi, which is pretty awesome. Forgot my gloves. Oh, it's kind of cold. And sweet potato with usually some kind of tofu. Maybe not. Sweet potato and avocado is good. The only thing about sushi is you might not get any avocados. Those are hit and miss. Because they'll always have avocados, but maybe they won't be right. Okay, I just adjusted my microphone. I'm very happy with that. It was kind of slouching, but I have it better now. Yeah, it seems kind of implausible that gang stalking will end, because when you think about how many people are involved, you know, you're everyone you know, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know what the exact numbers would be. I think 1/3 of the population in Germany voted for the Nazis. You know, it seems like 1/3 of the population are gang stalkers. And so how could you really expect something to happen? And then when you look back, after you realize that everyone is a Nazi, you can see that in a certain way, the evidence was always there. in a certain way, you could see the Nazi behavior on people. You could see how they talk down on you. Well, just an example, I volunteered at an office. It was like a mental health place, a humanitarian place. You know, you got mental health problems, you have drug and addiction problems. You go here, and they'll help you. They'll put you in touch with someone. They'll give you a support group. You know, if you're living with an alcoholic, we'll get you a support group for, you know, living with you know, any kind of problem you have, whatever, you know, the endless amounts of problems. We'll have some kind of support group. We'll have, you know, we'll take you bowling. We'll go on an outing. We'll do painting. We'll do yoga. We'll do mindfulness. We'll do depression and anxiety workshops. Well, all this humanitarian stuff. And so I'm volunteering in this office, and these people are like so kind, but they're condescending. Like I said to this one boss, and she's like so likable, so kind. Apparently, I don't like them anymore. And I used to really look up to them, sort of like my family doctor. I used to really look up to my family doctor. I used to want his approval. I used to love him. These are the same kind of people. I thought these guys are on the in crowd. You know, these people show me that the bureaucracy is actually right, because these people have the bureaucracy behind them, and these are good people. And I was saying, I don't understand what you're telling me to do. And she's like, well, I don't need you to understand. I just need you to do it. It was something to that effect. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was volunteering there, and I mentioned getting a job there because I was a facilitator at groups. I never missed a day. I was professional. I was well liked. And I mentioned getting a job, and one of the other bosses was like, well, aren't your caseworkers ever happy with that you're volunteering? Because the reason I wanted to get a job was because I was on welfare, and the welfare casework was like, well, you really need to kind of like make an income too, like and so I mentioned this at this place where I had been volunteering for years. And, you know, they're just like, well, you know, just go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. And they were most likely, I could pretty much guarantee, hiring gang stalkers just for gang stalking me while I was volunteering there. The kind of gang stalkers who say, oh, I'm feeling really sad. What should I do? Do you have any advice? And then you say, yeah, well, why don't you try yoga? And they say, well, actually, let me tell you. No, let me lecture you for 50 fucking hours. You think you're anyone to tell me anything? Fuck you. That kind of person. That kind of person. And it's a trap. You see, and they're going, oh, I just feel so sad. I kind of want to go to the hospital to get checked in. I just don't know what I'm going to do to myself. I'm feeling really sad. And then you say one word to them. And they're like, do you have anything you can like help me like to understand, you know, like, can you give me some advice? Because I think you're really wise. And they're baiting you. And as soon as you say anything, they go, excuse me, but I'm the professor here. You're not a doctor. You can't say anything. And you're not prescribing, you're not diagnosing or anything. You're just saying like, oh, you know, you're having these weird dreams where you can't move. That sounds like sleep paralysis. I used to have that. Excuse me, you're not a doctor. What, are you a doctor? You can't say that. And it's just like these fucking people, man. There's no reasoning with them. I was watching this podcast, and he's like, the guy in the podcast, he's like, we're at the point now where there's no voting it. It's just you vote with a hammer. You vote them in the head with a hammer, and that's the only thing. And I'm not saying that I want to go vote someone with a hammer, because I don't. I'm saying that nothing's going to happen if not for hammer voting. I'm not saying hammer voting is right. I'm just saying it's going to come to either nothing or hammer voting. Because you can't reason with these people. And they want to die. That's the other thing. The only reason they don't kill themselves is because they're afraid. But it's mad sick, yo. It's mad sick. So I'm downtown Kitchener. The Asian store is quite amazing. It's massively cheaper than anywhere else. There's usually gang stalkers. You can spot a gang stalker in the Asian store way easier. They have Asian gang stalkers, but they often send white gang stalkers who look out of place. And I'm doing pretty well today. You know, it was kind of a rough day for me yesterday. Oh my goodness. This is all changed. This never used to be like this. Okay, well fortunately we have a spot to park here. I'm pretty good at parallel parking. Oh, look at that, you know, like fucking two-point turn. Didn't have to do a bunch of backing up, going forward. I have a roll of duct tape tied to my camera to keep it up for the view to be better. Now this will be the first time I'm filming in the Asian store. I think they shouldn't be upset at me for that. And in the Asian store, I'm going to be getting some sushi rice, hopefully in a small bag. What else? I have soy sauce. Kind of worry our soy sauce is poisoned. Keys are in the bag. Okay. Got my big old motherfucker boots. I'm about to see a bunch of human traffickers. I think that's the source of my pain to some extent, is treating them, you know, not realizing that the only language they understand is hammer voting. You know, and so you think you can reason with them, and in a way you're trying to be compassionate. You're saying, let me respond to you as if you're a real person. And then you get disappointed and upset when that doesn't work, because you've been too shocked that you actually can't believe it, that no, they're not real people. They're automatons. And it's also kind of taboo to say that, because how they frame what they're doing as if they're just regular people. They're like, oh, it's this store. Don't even fucking tell me. Yum yum. This is like a Middle Eastern store. I don't think they'd have what I want. They frame it like, oh, we're just, you know, regular people. We're not doing this to you. They dress it up so well. Like there's this line experiment. They did it with a circle as well. So you show someone two lines, and one is visibly longer than the other one, and you get a whole group of people to tell someone that the shorter line is actually the longer line. And it's not like a close call, it's overtly, obviously, distinguishably longer. And if enough people tell someone who are all in on it, but the one person being told isn't in on it, that actually the shorter line is longer, the average person, when enough people tell them, that the shorter line is longer will say and believe that the shorter line is longer. And it's the same with circles. They'll say the smaller circle is actually the bigger one. There was a comedian who did a bit about that, doing an impression of those people, and he's like, hey, did you hear? The smaller circle's actually bigger. And so there's kind of some kind of psychological human bias, even that works on TIs, it seems, that they're all telling you that they're not doing anything. So you want to treat them like as if they're real people. But they're not. And so if it was obvious what they're doing, like, you know, if they didn't have their masks, then the hammer voting solution wouldn't be frowned upon by anyone. And I sometimes think it's not frowned upon by anyone. Now this would be sushi rice, Calrose rice. Sushi rice is short grain rice, and I'm not calling for a hammering. You know, I'm not willing. You know, Martin Luther King said, sorry, not Martin Luther King, Malcolm X said, send them to the cemetery. But I don't think that it's worth dying for. But probably a gang stalker. So yeah, I don't agree with the whole hammering thing. Except for like, I agree that that's what it has to come to for anything to change, but I don't want to go hammer someone and then spend the rest of my life in prison or die or something. So I'm not advocating that anyone hammers anyone. Okay, so the sushi rice is actually way cheap. That's really, really good. Oh, and then I need sushi paper. That's one thing I forgot that I need. The thing about this store is it's so cheap. Like, you can get well, I'm fat, you know. I don't typically have wanting to eat more than I have. Sometimes it's the case. Certain foods I can't really afford as much as I want. But sushi is one of those things, usually with really good food, I can't really afford that much. But sushi is one of those things that it's premium, it's really, really good. Ugh. And I can stuff myself. I can stuff myself with sushi. Why? Where? Why can't I find the sushi paper? Oh. Where is the goddamn sushi? And then the other thing I'm gonna need is avocados. And I'm kind of almost foolish for searching for the sushi paper before I find the avocados, because if the avocados aren't here, the whole plan falls apart. $2.99. Let's get the cheap one. Now, some people advise to toast your sushi paper right before you use it. Oh, you know what I do need is some kind of barbecue sauce. The Asian store has the best, by far, barbecue sauce. A million times better than anywhere else. But do they have avocados? If they don't have avocados, this whole trip is fucked. Then I'd have to go somewhere else, which I'm actually considering going to Walmart potato. These are the best potatoes in the world. I absolutely love these potatoes. Get 3 of those. And then we need some avocados. If only they have avocados. I almost doubt that they have avocados. Why wouldn't they have avocados? That's terrible. Now I have to go to fucking stupid Walmart. It's really terrible. Maybe they have avocados hiding somewhere. What kind of Asian store doesn't have avocados? That's absurd. Huh. Well, at least I'll get some good sauce. But I mean, if Walmart doesn't have avocados, then I'm fucked. Oh, some teriyaki sauce would be good. Sweet barbecue. The sauce I really want is hidden somewhere. It's not in this. It's not in the aisle that you'd expect. I think it might be in this aisle. Maybe not. It's almost in like a beer bottle. I think this is where I saw it the last time. Yeah, I think this is it. Barbecue marinade. This is it. Mother's Best. Mamacitas. Yeah, this is it. Barbecue marinade. Yeah, I don't know if I should get this. I almost feel like teriyaki sauce would be better. It's the same price. I think teriyaki sauce is a bit sweet. I do like something sweet in my sushi. So I could just do sweet potato rolls with tofu, but who am I kidding? I really need teriyaki. The thing that threw me off though about this teriyaki is that it's marinade, it's not sauce. Teriyaki, which is different. The sauce would be better. $4.99 teriyaki light, original, soy sauce, Kikkoman teriyaki sauce. That seems really good. That's $5. 25. I don't fucking know what to do. Well, I guess I'm gonna go get the Mama's barbecue sauce. Is this a doppelganger here? I frankly don't know. Well, I had a pair of, actually the jacket I'm wearing right now is it's a beer jacket. It came in a bottle of, in a pack of beers. And I saw a guy who I thought was wearing the same jacket, and plus I had a very distinguishable, a weird pair of glasses that I wore. They were yellow tinted. They were like what old people wear. They weren't the type of glasses that I frequently saw people wearing. And there was a guy who looked like he was wearing the same jacket as me, and plus he was
哦，你只是里面订了它而已。哦 ，OK， 啊，它不是天天来的。嗯，他要上学嘛。哦，他是华北大学的学生。哎呦 ，sorry。
That's okay.
Sorry.
Did you scan it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have
Police store 在旁边。啊，旁边抽杆了。OK， 新来的吧
Do you have avocados?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But smaller.
Smaller, but you do have them?
Yeah, some this way.
Uh-huh.
And the right hand.
Like, where? Here? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's so good. I don't have to go to stupid Walmart. If these are even ripe, which they're not. And my car keys are in that bag that I just left at the front counter. Yeah, these are not fucking ripe. Okay, yeah, they weren't ripe. Yeah, okay. Hey, thanks, yeah. 1640.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, fucking, you know, I almost knew. What are the odds that they would have ripe avocados? I'd say about 0. Now, if you could hear this car, that's a gang stalker. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Wonder if the Indian store would have avocados. Middle Eastern. That'd be fantastic if they did. Yeah, but you look back on all the people who you knew and you realize it's in their marrow. It's kind of, what's the word? Disheartening. The guy just like aggressively looked out his window. Hello. Do you have avocados?
Inside the fridge.
Okay, I'll just leave my bag here. Oh, they have avocados, it looks like. So, I guess this is where the avocados are. I don't see any avocados. Where are the avocados? I don't know where the avocados are. Where the fuck are the avocados? Huh. This is a nice store. Maybe they are in here and I just didn't see them. Oh damn, you know, I used to work in a loading warehouse where I'd load groceries onto the back of transport trucks, and there'd be lots of hey, do you know where the avocados are? Yeah, I didn't see any. Okay, thank you. Damn it. Okay.
Instead of those buckets, but there wasn't there?
I don't think so. I'll check again. Buckets. I don't think there's any avocados here. Something smells a little off. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any avocados in here. God damn. No avocados. Okay. Alrighty. Thanks. Okay. Well, Gaza is coming to you. That's what I've heard. You know what really is funny in a very sick way? It's not actually funny, but it's very telling. When people are like, we're out to catch the criminals, and then they don't say anything about the genocide. We're here to do some investigative work to catch some criminals. And as for bombing people, we don't really have any comment on that. But these fucking monsters, these monster criminals, we're gonna I don't even call them people, I call them monsters. Oh, the genocide? Oh, that's just target practice. That's target practice. Yeah, that's target practice. That's nothing. I never knew why it weirded me out. I'd see these justice people who are really, they're out to do justice. I never knew why do I get the creeps watching them. And then it took me until I was older to realize how to articulate that feeling. It's that the people are virtue signaling that they are good, and they're doing it in such a calloused way. They're doing it on the backs of victims. They're using real victims as a photo ops, and that's really sickening. And the other sickening thing about it is that so many people just let that slide. So many people are on that level. Well, you know, I'm a snooty, judgmental vegan here. Yeah, I'm a snooty, judgmental vegan. I learned really quickly that people don't care about animals. I learned that really, really quickly when I went vegan. And I learned that they want to appear. That's what they care, the appearance. Oh no, I care about the animals. Let me write you an essay on protein. It's very necessary. It's very necessary. Let me write you an essay on protein. But you can see their apathy. You can see how when they show you their essay on protein, how they don't really care. They're really just saying, I have the excuse, so shut the fuck up. Yeah, I have the excuse. And so I would like then to take a dog into the middle of the city and slit its throat. And when everyone goes, oh, I'll go, what? No, but I have an essay. My dad wrote some memoirs about how this is good. I'll show, do you want to see the memoirs? Hey, I'll drink its blood. No, it's cool, I'll drink its blood. No, don't worry, I'll drink its blood. I don't know why you're yelling. Hey, excuse me, but I don't know why you're yelling. Actually, the reason why you're yelling is because if you don't yell, then you will look as guilty as me. So you need to say, no, those are just the other people with different color skin. No, that's just the other animal with a different color hair or something. I didn't mean to say color there 2 times. I'm getting a little too hot and heavy in this conversation, so one of the things that happens when you do that is you get tongue twisted. You know, you could I almost made the joke that that karma did that existence is human, that existence is watching me, and it's making me mess my words up when I get too serious. But ultimately I don't know, you know. Like, I posted a picture of this, it was a YouTube short, and this woman, she's at a pool, and she's like, oh my god, look at you think there's a mirror, you're looking at this woman sitting on the opposite side of a pool, and she's wearing a blue dress, she has black glasses on, black hair, certain haircut, certain body type, and then the camera turns and you see what looks like the exact same woman. And then the person on the camera is like, can you believe this? You know, that woman she looks exactly like you. And so I posted it, and I said, is this gang stalking? Because we all know that they use doppelgangers. Here's the Nazi. USA GSA was talking about how, that's a channel on gang stalking, about how in Mississippi the police will just murder people and cover it up. And he has their families on, and particularly black people. He says that that Mississippi is very racist, but there's white people too, and their families are like devastated. Like, they had this one 19-year-old who got shot in the head, and they said that the police said that he was playing Russian roulette, and that's how he shot himself in the head. And then at the hospital, like, I don't know if he was already dead at that time, there was some kind of bags on his hands or something. I don't exactly remember whether they removed the bags or they put bags on his hands, but they did something with the bags. There was bags on his hands or something to do with that, because they were gonna do a gunpowder residue test. If someone fires a gun, you can do a test on their hands to see if they fired the gun. And the hospital made it so that test couldn't be done. And the parents said, why did you do that thing with the bags on his hands? And the hospital said, well, the police instructed us to do that. And they basically covered up a murder. And that's just conventional for them. That's just like another day on the job. And this USA GSA guy, who he's gang stalked, he has lots of guests on that talk about gang stalking. And he said, if you're one of those families who you're living with a dead 19-year-old son who got murdered, and you see a police car driving by, you'd probably want to puke. And yeah, that's old hat, you know, like, fuck the police, coming straight from the underground, we're victimized. That's old hat. But it's kind of new, you know, like I've never really cared. I've always been kind of apprehensive around police, a bit nervous, but I've never been like, until recently, and I don't want to puke when I see police, but recently when I can see the whole human trafficking thing, I see them, they're not what I thought they were. I see how human they are in a way. Like, I went to a support group where there was a police who went there. I think I met his brother. I met someone who looked, a doppelganger police who looked like him. Who said, it was nice to meet you, you know, as if he knew who I was. But I see they're human. You know, that police officer in the support group, he said he views people like his children. You know, he had that kind of attitude, like, I'm the shepherd. And he also had like a profound lack of self-awareness. It was kind of like, well, I don't need self-awareness because I have the gun, so fuck you. No, you didn't hear me. You know, that kind of thing. It's kind of like, and then there's like, oh, you know, I spent, you know, that's what he talked about. Oh, I spent another $5,000 this week. Fucking dropped $5,000 on clothes. Man, and man, oh man, I just gotta learn my lesson. Oh boy. I spent another $5,000 on clothes. Oops. I saw his nervousness. You know, I saw his desire to be cool. You know, that's what I saw. I saw that part of his humanity. I'm a kid at the first day of class. I hope no one looks right through me. And then I'm gonna go put on my uniform and fuck some guy up the ass. You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just getting a little bit. It was a bipolar support group. I'm getting a little bit bipolar right now. Are all cops bad? I don't fucking know. Are all Nazis bad? I'm not being rhetorical. I'm really asking. Is that all a cop is? Is a cop just a Nazi? I'm not being rhetorical. I'm not stating that that's what it is. I'm saying I actually don't know. If a cop is nothing more than a Nazi, I have no clue. If there are cops who are against this Nazi bullshit, and like there's the story of the enlightened butcher. There's this enlightened butcher, and he doesn't eat meat, obviously. What the fuck, are you crazy? But he's a butcher because he's the best. The animals are never scared of him. The animals die believing that they are friends with him. He never has to sharpen his knife because his knife only cuts at very specific points that the animal doesn't feel any pain. And his followers ask him, well, what's the deal? Why are you a butcher? Isn't that like against your whole thing? And he's like, no, helps me jack off better. He's like, no, it's more compassionate. The animals are getting butchered either way, and if I don't do it, some other asshole's gonna do it. And they're not going to do nearly as good a job as me. With them, the animal's going to be scared and in pain. So I'm going to keep being a butcher. Now, are there enlightened cop butchers? Enlightened Nazis? Enlightened Nazis training their kids how to be Nazis? At what point do you draw the line? Do you butcher your own family? Like that Nazi in Schindler's List? He's like, I fell in love with that Jew. I'm gonna take her to the woods and shoot her so she doesn't have to go into the gas chamber. And that cop who I'm talking about, I've seen him gang stalking me at the movie theater. I've seen him gang stalking me in this Walmart. I stared at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He looked away. He's one of those guys who, in all the years of seeing him, every week, not once did he never not wear a ball cap. And you could just about bet your balls that he was bald. And you could just about, if there's no fucking ripe avocados, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. This is the most bullshit fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. This is the most bullshit thing I've ever fucking seen. God damn it. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get avocados. I'm gonna give them time to ripen on their own. Almost had a near collision with some fucking retard, crack hoe, pool ball ass bitch. Retarded cunt whore bitch. Well, I have to give credit. I didn't come up with the term pool ball ass. That was the same comedian who did the, did you hear the smaller circle's actually the bigger one? No, I'm serious. The smaller one is the bigger one. I do want good food tonight, so whatever, you know. I have more money than I thought because I returned my microphone. It's funny too, thinking the gang stalkers watch these videos, and I'm like, you pool ball crackhead ass. Intergenerational blood money. Fucking retard bitch. So if this isn't a gang stalker, I don't know what is. Well, yeah, then you could always make the argument these people are human trafficked. These people don't have a choice. But you know, I think they do, aren't like? Don't they have informed consent? Like, aren't they told what it is that they're doing? Like, okay, you're gonna go terrorize these people. Doesn't that count as something against them? I mean, if I was a gang stalker, I would quit. I don't think anyone could sell me on it though. I think I would be like, that's retarded. Like, you want me to follow someone and cough near them? You know, I would instantly be like, that actually makes no sense. This is a gang stalker coming here. That's about to walk by. Like, probably like at least 10% of the employees are gang stalkers. The looks I get from people are weird as fuck. I also wrote a review here. I was like, this store sucks. A lot of the people here are gang stalkers. And then I wrote what? That's crazy expensive. And then I wrote what gang stalking is. 16. I might not even have enough money. Print only. Yes.
That's a good night.
So I get a lot of weird looks. There's a lot of really friendly employees here too. I have to say, I really like some of the employees. Oh shit, you know, my bag's ripped. There's a French fry coming out of my bag. Woo! My meditation's going pretty good. You know, that's something that's on my mind. Which is another way of saying my self-care is going pretty good. As in meditation and action go 50% each. And so I've been taking good self-care for like probably 9 days in a row. Got lots of bubbly at home. Probably got to drink a bit more bubbly these days. I had a headache yesterday. I hope my fries aren't poisoned. I rarely buy fries, so I don't think that they'd, you know, that this hole in the bag is something deliberate. There was another bag in there that the whole bag was like ripped open. Okay, I'm too lazy to move the camera up. So, where's the cord? I have to wrap the seatbelt underneath the cord. Oh, well, you know, meditation helps with things like, for example, telling you that I have to wrap the seatbelt underneath the cord. You know, it seems trivial. But if I wasn't meditative, I'd be thinking, oh fuck, I have to wrap the seatbelt around the cord. I'd be cranky. You know, I would be, and I would be hiding the fact. I'd be like, no, I'm in a good mood. You know, I wouldn't share that I'm feeling upset at something as trivial as having to do something like tying the scarf to my roll of duct tape here. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed of that. Well, I have to say I am getting frustrated. You know when you have that like rage in your stomach? Like, have you ever looked for something and you can't find it? And there's like an infuriating feeling. And you're just like very upset. Well, talking through it is helping. Talking through it is helping a lot, actually. Okay, there, look, we got a good view now. And yeah, so being gang stalked, you're isolated and tortured. And are you really missing out on that much? Who are the people who are allowing this to happen, who are complacent, who are unaware this is happening, even if it counts your former self? Even if the people who don't know about this and who can't comprehend that this is real are just as dumb as you used to be, Who would want to be around those people anyway? Because now that you look back, you see, yeah, there's precedents all over the place. All the first world countries are into genocide. And if you want to say, gang stalking is unbelievable, and your reasoning behind it can't be, well, we don't have the technology to do it. The reasoning behind it that people say it's unbelievable is, yeah, we could do that, that the technology does exist to do that, but that's such a vast conspiracy that's so egregious that it goes against human nature. People are good, and people wouldn't do that. People don't like Nazis, remember? People wouldn't do this. They bank it on the morality of people. That's the mentality of the world that we've left behind. They say, well, we are just a good species and we would never do something like that, so you're crazy. Now, would you really want to be around those kind of people anyway? Even though you used to be one of them, now that you're not, aren't you like, so I'm kept isolated and tortured, but isolated from who? People who I'd want to kill myself if I was around them anyway? Yeah, like I might not have a girlfriend, but you know, they turned out to be gang stalkers, or just as idiots as gang stalkers. They turned out to be gaslighters. Like, yeah, it sucks. But living with them sucks too. Living with them sucks more, actually. There's a whole layer, multiple levels of hell that we're avoiding by not being with these people.